The Jets have brought in Jamison Crowder to be their new slot receiver, but is he better than Jermaine Kearse?
J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets!
If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I post weekly Jets videos, so make sure you tune in for that. This is going to be my fourth installment of the For Better or Worse series. I'm going to link the Brian Poole, Kalichi Osemele, and the CJ Mosley ones down below in the description if you have not seen those already. But today we are going to be looking at Jermaine Kearse and Jamison Crowder to determine if we have gotten better or worse. I will be grading these guys in 9 different categories. We're going to be looking at contract, Pro Football Focus grade, their health, so how many games they played in or were available to play in, their snap count, the yards per catch, catch percentage, touchdowns, turnovers, and penalties. Since Crowder has only been in the league for 4 years, I'm going to use the last 4 years of Jermaine Kearse when comparing all these stats. First up, contract. Kearse counted for $5 million against our cap last season, whereas Jamison Crowder was signed for 3 years, $28.5 million, and will count about $9.5 million over the course of the contract per year against the cap. Pro Football Focus grade. Kearse checked in with a 64.8, while Crowder was 67.5. As far as health goes, they're both pretty healthy. Kearse did win this one. He was 60 of 62 games, while Crowder was 56 of 62 games. Now that being said, Kearse was the full-time starter in those 4 years, while Crowder only started 28 of those 56 games. As far as snap counts go, Kearse checked in at 3,176 snaps, while Crowder was in at 2,848. And for the amount of games that Crowder actually started, that is a nice amount of snaps to see. So I'm actually okay with this. I know Kearse technically wins this category, but I think Crowder is in good shape here. As far as yards per catch go, Kearse has 12.4, while Crowder has 11.9, so Kearse wins this category. Up next is catch percentage. Kearse had a 57.7% catch rate, while Jamison Crowder had a 66.7% catch rate. Now this kind of surprised me because each of the last 4 years, Crowder has actually dropped in percentage catch rate or whatever. So you do have to take that into account, but I am surprised that he's actually better than what Kearse has. I always thought Kearse was a pretty reliable receiver, so this kind of surprises me. Crowder wins this category. As far as touchdowns go, Kearse has 12, while Crowder has 14. Turnovers, this is where it gets a little scary. Kearse had 2 over the last 4 years, while Crowder has had 12, so significantly more times turning the ball over. Now that being said, Crowder's turnovers really came in years 1, 2, and 3 of his deal. There wasn't as many last year, but he also played in less games last year. So there's concerns there with Gase putting as much emphasis on protecting the ball as he did in Miami. I imagine that's going to be a high point of contention when talking about Crowder in the offense. As far as penalties go, after 3 episodes of higher penalties for the incoming star, we actually have lower penalties here. Kearse has 11 penalties for 90 yards over the last 4 years, while Crowder has 6 penalties for 35 yards. And that's great for Crowder because he only had 1 penalty for 8 yards last year, and in 2017 he had no penalties at all. So the dude doesn't get penalized. We don't have to worry about him shooting us in the foot in terms of penalties. Turnovers are another situation, but, penalty-wise, Crowder wins. Now, as far as our For Better or Worse game goes, Kearse actually won 5 of the 9 categories that I put out in this. But there's a few things we need to look at here. First off is age. Kearse is 29 years old. Crowder is going to be 26 years old. So age-wise, Crowder's going into the prime of his career. So, right off the bat, we're getting younger. We're getting a, younger, hungrier, possibly guy with more upside than what Kearse could provide to us. Number 2 is the contract. Yes, Crowder has a higher contract, but it's not my money. And to be honest, if Crowder's contract doesn't prevent us from signing or acquiring more talent, it really doesn't matter what he's paid. I know it's a salary cap league, and if we were tight against the cap and his contract prevented us from adding a pass rusher or doing something of that nature, then that would be a knock against him. But as far as contract goes, it really shouldn't be too big of a knock. And then third overall, the value that Crowder adds to our special teams is huge. We lost our Pro Bowler Roberts to the Buffalo Bills, and we need a returner. So obviously Crowder will probably be our punt returner. I'm not sure if he'll be our kick returner too, but he is more of a jack of all trades than Kearse has been over the course of the last few years. So after going over all these categories, I can absolutely say I approve of this move. I think we have gotten better adding Jamison Crowder. So good job, Mike McCagnon. Jet fans, let me know what you think down below. As always, go Jets.